Using the motto, "to protect and serve," the primary role of the police is law enforcement. In the world of the Transformers, many would think of the Autobot Prowl or the Protectobot Streetwise to carry this out.
I'll provide an escort to get him there faster. Hey, Screamer! Your pilot's license just expired!
However, the Decepticons have their own twisted form of justice.
This city is under martial law, and I am the marshal.
As he breaks down Autobot roadblocks, this bad Decepticon cop hopes to punish and enslave, as he is named Barricade.
Are you username LadiesMan217?
I don't know what you're talking about!
Are you username LadiesMan217?
I'd like to thank my patrons and my channel members for your continued support. Consider becoming one, or purchase some merch on my Spring store today. In 1989, Hasbro created the Micromasters as part of the Transformers toy line to compete with the growing popularity of Micro Machines.
New Transformers are here, Micromaster Transformers.
Our new commandos can go where no other Transformers can go. What are they? Micromasters. Why don't we have them?
In 1990, the Racetrack Patrol was released as a Decepticon Micromaster squad consisting of Groundhog, Roller Force, Motorhead, and Barricade. Their collective bio described the team as mean Decepticon speed demons that use their souped-up engines to win drag races, helping finance the Decepticon cause. While they had no individual bios of their own, their instructions gave a glimpse into their personalities, with Barricade believing that winning is everything. Since they arrived in the final year of the original G1 Transformers toy line, the Racetrack Patrol were absent from the comics. In Japan, the team were described as former Autobot Micromasters that joined up with the Decepticons, and they helped recover Trypticon's personality components when the Decepticon Titan was defeated by Metroplex. It was years later, in 2003, that Dreamwave Productions published a G1 profile book, More Than Meets the Eye, that gave individual profiles for the Racetrack Patrol. The chaotic Groundhog loves the roar of engines while tuning up his teammates in his workshop. The road-raging Roller Force will stop at nothing to bash his opponents off the highway. With winning constantly on his mind, Motorhead often gets sidetracked with how well he performs in races and battle. The team is led by the abusive Barricade, who berates his team, pushing them to win at any cost. To him, failure is not an option. As seen in Dreamwave's Micromaster miniseries, a young rookie named Runner started life at a Micromaster training facility. Letting nothing hold him back, Runner smashed through Autobot roadblocks, earning him the name Barricade as he joined the Decepticons as leader of the Racetrack Patrol. As the team stole Energon wherever they found it, Barricade became disillusioned with the full-size Decepticon Guzzlers for hoarding it. Leaving the Decepticons with his team, Barricade found refuge in a neutral Micromaster town known as Little Iacon. After learning that the Decepticon Micromaster Skystalker had planned to destroy all full-size Transformers, Barricade convinced his team to join forces with the Hot Rod Patrol to save both the Autobots and Decepticons, allowing the Micromasters to live life on their own. In the IDW comics, the Micromasters appeared not as Cybertronians, but as techno-organic beings from the planet Gorlum Prime. Eventually, all of the planet's inhabitants were devoured by the monstrous Devoid. In Transformers Energon, a new version of the combining team, the Combaticons, was known as the Destruction Team that merged to become Bruticus Maximus. Instead of the name Onslaught, the team's leader that transformed into an armored missile truck was given the name Barricade. Without a profile written for the character, Barricade appeared in the Energon cartoon not as an individual, but as simply a component of Bruticus Maximus. During development for the first live-action Transformers movie, the filmmakers considered both Prowl and Soundwave to be part of the movie's cast. However, as previously discussed in my Soundwave retrospective, they did not initially want the Transformers to use mass shifting, despite having the Allspark do so itself. As such, the Decepticon helicopter became Blackout, who dispatched Scorponok instead of Ravage, and the Decepticon Boombox who hacked into Air Force One became Frenzy. Instead of Prowl, the writers of the film really loved the idea of a police car being a Decepticon. Decking out a Saleen S-281 Mustang as a police cruiser, this new Decepticon hunter was given the name Barricade. First appearing in the film to help Frenzy escape Air Force One, Barricade used his cop car disguise to allow him access to places others could not go. Even humans were unsuspecting of his motives. Voiced by Jess Harnell, Barricade pursued Sam Witwicky in search of his grandfather's glasses that gave the coordinates to the Allspark.
Where is the eBay item 211 Victory? Where are the bosses?
Although Bumblebee came to the rescue, Barricade continued to stalk his prey. He even dispatched Frenzy to chase Sam as Barricade fought Bumblebee. Although he lost the fight, Barricade later regrouped with his fellow Decepticons on the highway, but he mysteriously disappeared. This led to a lot of fan speculation as to what was his fate. As it turned out, as told in the film's novelization and comic book adaptation, the original intention was that Optimus Prime was to kill Barricade along with Bonecrusher. Since this scene never made it into the finished film, Barricade appeared frequently in various tie-in video games.
Step aside, Autobot. The Allspark belongs to Megatron. I will exterminate the humans and claim it now.
Animated segments,
No sideswipe! I expected a bigger Autobot.
and comic books. Most notably, the Reign of Starscream comic explained that Barricade was smashed into a pillar by Ironhide during the highway chase in the film. Upon recovering from his injuries, Starscream sent Barricade out to spy on the Autobots. Since Barricade was still functioning, he received numerous figures throughout the various movie toy lines, with his bios describing many of his non-film adventures. In Transformers Dark of the Moon, the Decepticons had conquered Chicago, and Barricade was among those present when the Autobots were captured. It should be noted that one of Soundwave's lines was given to Barricade with Frank Welker's signature voice.
Your time is up. Wait.
In the ensuing battle, Barricade was temporarily blinded, and his leg was blown off by the human soldiers. Yet somehow, he managed to survive. Still wanting to punish and enslave, Barricade returned with an upgraded Ford Mustang GT Alt Mode in 2017's Transformers The Last Knight. Still scouting out information from Megatron,
I know who can lead us to it. The TRF.
he once again chased down Bumblebee in the streets of London before being blasted off his wheels.
That hurt.
His final appearance would be alongside Megatron at Stonehenge, fighting against human forces. It should come as no surprise that the live-action depiction of Barricade became the most popular version of the character, as later Transformers series would take many of the elements of this bad cop Decepticon. The universe of Transformers Animated would at first name-drop Barricade in a Surprise Inc. gamebook. Later in the Allspark Almanac, an animated take on live-action Barricade appeared on a menu for McAdam's old oil house. This was later redrawn in the Complete Edition to look more like a Decepticon version of Prowl. As an amalgamation of the G1 Micromaster and live-action versions, Barricade was introduced into the Align continuity as a playable character in the War for Cybertron video game. Voiced by Steve Bloom, Barricade openly questioned Megatron's plans until the Decepticon leader put him in his place.
Are you concerned at all driving into the belly of a furnace? Aren't you concerned that I might tire of your pointless chatter?
Barricade was later redesigned for the Transformers Universe online game, drawing more inspiration from the live-action films. Unfortunately, he was replaced with the Decepticon Switchblade before the game's troubled production led to its cancellation. However, he did receive a new figure as part of the Transformers Collectors Club in 2014, a redeco of Transformers Prime's Prowl. This figure came with a new version of Frenzy that transformed into a circular saw weapon. Crossing over into the IDW comics in 2014, another version of Barricade was introduced with his design based on the War for Cybertron video game. Having no relation to the Micromaster seen in years past, Barricade was a Decepticon cop who desired to keep peace on Cybertron in the days after the war. Recruited by his girlfriend Swift, Barricade accompanied the Dinobots on a mission to transport a truckload of sparks from the colony world of Caminus. Unfortunately, this mission ended in failure as Barricade was killed by the rogue Decepticon Bludgeon. Late in 2016, Hasbro decided to adopt a unified Evergreen look for select Transformers characters to appear on various products without any tie-in media to accompany it. Barricade's design would draw inspiration from The Last Knight, with this being the basis for his appearance in the mobile game Transformers Earth Wars. Since Barricade's depiction in the live-action films clearly had taken cues from the Autobot Prowl, artist Guido Guidi created his own piece of fan art recoloring Smokescreen as Barricade. It was this art that was used during the development for the War for Cybertron trilogy, and a new figure of Barricade was released as part of the Siege toy line in 2019. A redeco of Prowl with a new head, Barricade transformed into a Cybertronian police car. It was this version of Barricade that was introduced in IDW's rebooted continuity as part of Cybertron's security forces under Prowl's command. However, Barricade was secretly a part of Megatron's Decepticons, the political movement that eventually rose to become the Decepticons. Barricade also appeared in the War for Cybertron trilogy's animated series on Netflix, voiced by Alexander Delalo.
Now you die.
Barricade was among Megatron's Decepticons who was overeager to shoot first and ask questions later, despite any objections by Megatron. Gleefully recycling any useless Decepticons and Autobots on Cybertron, Barricade accompanied Megatron aboard the Nemesis in their quest to retrieve the Allspark on Earth. Taking this one step further as a redeco of Smokescreen, the War for Cybertron trilogy's Earthrise toy line released an Earth mode for Barricade in 2020. Sold in an Amazon-exclusive 2-pack with Punch Counterpunch, Barricade is under orders from Megatron to hunt down Counterpunch on the planet Dominus after discovering that he is truly the Autobot Punch in disguise. The Micromaster Racetrack Patrol also returned in the Earthrise toy line, with Roller Force and Groundhog being sold in a 2-pack. The full team was brought back together with another Amazon-exclusive 6-pack of Micromasters. While Motorhead retained his name, the Racetrack Patrol's leader, Barricade, was renamed Runner, taking his original name from the Dreamwave comics. While Barricade may have had his beginnings as a street racing Micromaster in G1, it's clear that the bad cop Decepticon has become the most prominent take on the character, as proven by the character's integration in G1-inspired stories, even taking on Prowl in Forged to Fight. Barricade could quite possibly team up with the Micromaster Runner to punish and enslave any Autobots that stand in their way. But what do you think? Has Barricade become a better character as a Decepticon cop? And could it inspire more stories of him facing off against Prowl? Leave your thoughts in the comments section below. And if you like this video, be sure to thumbs up and subscribe. I have many more Transformers videos like this coming soon, so stay tuned. And as always, until next time, till all are one.
I love this car.
You gotta slow down.